and welcome to Why Such a Fuss, an exciting new podcast for small businesses and charities who want to gain a better understanding of data protection. I'm Christina from CVG Solutions, a fully qualified data protection professional. I'm passionate about educating, empowering, and enabling businesses to thrive. So get ready to embark on a journey of growth and knowledge as we dive into the world of data protection. And I promise you, the material is engaging with many interesting guests. Hello and welcome to Why Such a Fuss podcast. Today I'm joined by Mandy Allen from CRM Insight. Mandy, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, thank you, Christina. And I appreciate the invitation to join you today. So my name is Mandy Allen, and I'm with CRM Insights for a company based in Peterborough. And we help growing organisations with digital transformation. And that's using CRM, customer relationship management software, which we're going to discuss today. So using that as the core hub for their business.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mandy, and great to have you here, by the way. So Mandy and I have known each other for quite some time, it's a few years now, haven't we?
It is.
And I think we met at networking.
We certainly did, Christina, several years ago, yes.
Yeah, and we're both very passionate about data, although we're coming from two different perspectives. So given that we're talking about data, and which obviously, it's a recurring theme in GDPR, I thought it was a good idea to invite Mandy here to talk about CRM, and which is an area of expertise, and how that, if you want, interfaces with GDPR, because obviously both disciplines joined by data. So Mandy, I've got a question for you. In your expertise, in your environment, how would a CRM enhance customer relationships, and also what are the benefits of having a CRM?
That's a great question, Christina, actually, because a lot of organisations still have quite a few manual processes in place. So when there's manual processes in place, we find that there's a real disconnect in communication. By having a CRM, customer relationship management solution in place, it enhances the processes by helping businesses to build and maintain both strong relationships with their customers and prospects. And so as part of the customer journey, every user who has a CRM solution and access is available to them, then they're able to connect with their customers on a regular basis, as well as nurture their prospects.
Okay, thank you. And am I right in sort of thinking that obviously once you have, or when a business has a CRM solution in place, that would also facilitate a data centralization and accessibility, I would have thought.
Definitely, because we both know how important data is to an organisation.
Yes.
Having a CRM in place, it keeps all that centralised. And as I touched on before, it makes it easily accessible for the different teams and different departments. So from marketing to sales to customer service and customer support. And it helps that customer journey by improving the customer satisfaction, and also looking at the loyalty and retention of the customers. You're able to use that from a marketing perspective, because you can personalize the interactions with the customer and maintain the data on their purchases and their sales. So helping them with other processes that within their business that they may not have already seen themselves, and it helps with that workflow. So then you get a better understanding of the customer needs and are able to provide a better service for their requirements.
Yes, I mean, the reason why I'm sort of keen about the centralization and accessibility is because from a GDPR perspective, having having the data in a centralized place will actually facilitate the retention obligation that an organization has from a GDPR perspective. So in terms of maintaining and therefore deleting when data is no longer needed, it makes life a lot easier, and the process is a lot easier to do when the data is in one place rather than in different places, as well as facilitating the accessibility of the data, in particularly when it comes to responding to subject access requests. Because again, there is a limited time for turning around a subject access request. And so if the data is in different systems or manual, in various files, it makes that process much more labor intensive and obviously much more complicated. While instead a centralized approach facilitates and supports the organization obligations from a legal perspective as well. What my this is coming from my experience working in corporates, working with various other methodology, but again, it's relatable to the GDPR. It's that I support CRMs because I think solutions, because they are certainly an asset to a business, and I think that they allow the business to have a 360-degree view of your customers' interaction. But I think it's important to also think about having some functionalities within the CRM that can support the organization to meet their GDPR requirements, and so that they can maintain their compliance. Now, I would like to pause this at this moment, because I'm not saying that a CRM or any software or any system can actually make you compliant, because there is no such a thing as a GDPR compliant software. It is how the data is being used, is the purpose under which the data is being used, the lawful basis, etc. But nevertheless, there could be some functionalities in the system that can support those obligations. And so when you are, as a business, looking at implementing the CRM into your organization, you should be looking for those kind of CRMs that can do that. And I know that you guys at CRM Insight are on top of these, and you have this as part of your data protection by design thinking, and it's at the forefront of your mind. Because what we need to remember, and I know that you're going to support me on this, Mandy, that
Absolutely.
IT systems are there to support the business processes. They're not the process themselves. And a lot of organizations do make these mistakes. And I see that a lot in sales, where they bring in a sales software or a sales app, and then they adjust their processes to the app. And then it doesn't work, and then they go and introduce another system. So they end up with multiple sales, or, I'm using sales, but HR is another example, a system, and none of them actually do what they need them to do, because they're starting from the wrong foot forward. But I think you guys, you're very on top of that, because you do map the processes, don't you, as part of your onboarding?
Yes, absolutely, Christine. I think, the first part is really to make sure that the users, leaders, stakeholders are all fully engaged prior to the implementation of a solution. And that's why, as part of the process, we engage a team in a process mapping exercise to ensure that all users have an input as to what is required for them to do their actual role. And it's really taken from the top down to make sure that that happens within any organization, so that you've got an efficient sales process that everybody is fully engaged with. Because likewise with sales or any part of the CRM and also GDPR, if everybody's not on board with it, then some of these things get dropped.
Yes.
And so, you have to look and make sure that all users fully engaged, fully trained, and understand the importance of being able to use the system efficiently, because otherwise the operational and organizational efficiency is not fully played out there. There's various different ways of managing things. So if you've got any drop down boxes, or you can make sure that you can't move on to another record until something has been completed. So that would be in the case of, say, GDPR, whereby it's flagged up in red, so that you know that box has got to be completed prior to you completing a record, and that helps for more efficiency. And also, even with the sales process, looking at the productivity, how you're managing your leads, because you have to have GDPR applied to even the lead from the very outset. And some of the requirements will probably be different as to why you're holding that data, but we were able to help with, according to what the business requirements are, we're able to help configure that according to what the business requirements are.
Of course, absolutely, because it is the business responsibility, not the CRM provider, to determine, the purpose of whatever data they're collecting, for whatever purpose they're using it, how they're using it, establish the lawful basis, determine how long they need that data, for example, and then they need to provide sometimes even all of this information to the CRM provider, such as CRM Insight, as part of that process mapping exercise, so that the correct functionalities within the CRM are in the right place with the right flow, etc. So as I said earlier, an IT system is there to support, and it's an enabler. Is not the process itself, which is basically, Mandy, what you and I have just said.
Absolutely, Christina. And I think one of the other important things is to look at the different departments and what the accessibility requirement is.
Yes.
Because there will be some whereby it's just for the performance of the contract. So you need to consider how long you're holding that data for. Is the contract renewed every year? Have there been any staff changes? There's lots of things to take into consideration, and some of those things will require manual input, such as when a staff member leaves and that you have to remove them manually from the database, then you'll need to review what the GDPR position is for that particular record.
Yes, and also, different access rights for different people in different department. We will need different access right to the data,
Yes.
in line with their roles. And so again, the CRM system needs to have that functionality within it.
I mean, what we do as a company, when we help to implement a solution for an organization, we do look at different accessibility. So, and not everybody has access to all the functionality, because it's very rarely needed.
Yes.
And you will just have some admin users who will have selected rights, and salespeople who will have selected rights, and again moving on to customer service. So as long as they've got accessibility according to their roles, then
Yes.
the GDPR can be applied according to what that functionality is.
Yes. Mandy, thank you ever so much for joining us. And if any of our listeners would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So we have all the details on our website, Christina, which is www.crminsights.co.uk. Our telephone number is on there also, but it's 01733 902 340. And we have lots of different resources available on our website that people can look at and download. So templates, webinars. So if you're just at the early stage of research and not really sure what the business requirement is, you can have a look around the resources first, or you can give us a call or book an appointment for some advice. We're always happy to help without a commitment there and then.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and Mandy. And if any of you would like to know more about GDPR and how it applies to your business, you can reach me at info@cvgsolutions.co.uk. Alternatively, you can find me on social media. I am on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search for CVG Solutions, and you can also look us through on our website, which is cvgsolutions.co.uk. Thank you very much for listening, and see you soon.